And we are live. Oh.
The following program is not suited for children or unfunny cunts. Actually, it's really not suitable for anyone with full brain cells. Viewer discretion is advised. Fuckheads.
They're coming to take me away, ha-ha. They're coming to take me away, ho-ho, hee-hee, ha-ha. To the funny farm where life is beautiful all the time. And I'll be happy to see those nice young men in their clean white coats. And they're coming to take me away, ha-ha.
Hi, I'm Rob Marco.
I'm Trenton Peterson.
I'm a messed up
dude.
Hello. Hello, everybody. How are we doing tonight? Well, if you're listening on Spotify, it's daytime for you, or whatever time it is. I don't know. Shut up if you want to listen.
We got our buddy Vampyre Mike, runs SegaCDUniverse on Facebook and YouTube. And we got his channel trailer here.
Hey guys, it's Vampyre Mike from SegaCDUniverse. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I've been doing this since 2012. I pretty much talk about all kinds of things that I like. I used to focus primarily on video games and Sega CD. I've now branched out into other entertainment that I enjoy, such as movies and music. So take a peek around. Hopefully you find something you like. I love the interaction with people, so if you want to leave a comment, it would be great. Thanks guys for watching. It's Vampyre Mike from SegaCDUniverse. Be good.
God, he's so fucking cool.
And we're going to have some fun with him. He's actually a funny bastard. He likes to sling the shit. So we're going to be doing a lot of bullshit and a lot of ball busting. This should be good. And why don't we bring him on?
Yeah. Hello, Mike.
Hey, Mike.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
Okay.
You already got one. He's so hot.
I just want to preface this video by saying that Rob and Trenton forced me to do this stream. I really didn't want to, but they have illicit photos of me in the woods. So here we are. They blackmailed me. They said they would let those photos of me in the woods out on 4chan if I didn't do their Messed Up Dudes podcast. So here we are.
4chan's still a thing?
I think so.
And we also wanted to say that compared to us, Mike is a pretty well-adjusted individual. So this is going to be more about the retro gaming stuff and his YouTube stuff and music and, kind of just more buddies talking.
Only thing messed up about Mike, it takes him 12 seconds to come. Other than that, he's a normal dude.
I see you've been talking to my wife and my girlfriends.
I've been trying. I need to get some.
So I appreciate that, though. Thank you for calling me well-adjusted. That's probably a first in my lifetime.
Well, compared to me and Trenton, two of the most fucked up people on the planet.
It reminds me of The Simpsons where someone calls Homer sir, and he's like, that's the first time anybody's ever called me sir without it being followed by you're causing a scene.
It's like, I don't remember what it was from at this point, but I think it was a movie. The guy said, I hang around all ugly people. And they're like, why? He's like, so that I look normal.
Yeah.
That's kind of why I joined the podcast. I was like, you know what? These guys are pretty fucked up. I'll seem pretty square,
I think that's why most people probably want to come on so badly.
Let's say hello to Anthony Chabot. He's watching us.
Hey, Anthony.
You shaved your face. Attaboy.
Thumbs up.
Cut yourself, bud. Shave my face, too. I don't grow very much, though.
I shaved my balls for this.
Shaved his balls for this, all right.
Yeah. You know how us Italians are. Our balls are really hairy, so.
Everybody is happy.
Hello, Jennifer. Nice
Hey,
to see
Jennifer.
you. Is Timmy watching as well? He better be.
Timmy better be watching. We are. And I just want to let everybody know we've been making some money on the audio podcast version with our ads. We've made a total of 15 cents.
Wow.
So we can now afford a half hour with Danny Savage's wife.
That's U.S. currency too. That's like $100 for me.
Yeah, you in Canada.
Cold-blooded. So, what do you guys normally talk about? I want to jump right in with you guys into the, swimming pool.
Well, I wanted to ask you, like, how did this whole Sega CD universe start? Like, you got a pretty good following on there, and when I was looking through your videos, I wanted to try and find something to play beforehand just to give people some insight into it. And I found the trailer, but like some of those videos, those are like 10, 11, 12 years ago. Like, you've been at it for a while, which is cool.
Thank you. So it primarily started actually when I was a teenager. I think I was maybe 13. And I remember thinking I want to create a website. And back then, HTML was sort of in its infancy with like people making their own stuff.
Okay.
And I was like, my favorite system, the Dreamcast. I don't even know if the Dreamcast was out then, but that's one of my favorites as well. But I was like, oh, I love. Yeah, you had said that before. It's definitely. I think the Dreamcast has held up best out of like all the old systems. But I love the Sega CD with the full motion video games. So I said, you know what? Let me make a website. So I started doing like reviews and posting screenshots on a website called SegaCDUniverse. I think the name's stupid, but I think it was just like, this is universe is going to be all Sega CD. Like I was 13, you know?
Yeah, you started that website when you were 13.
Yeah. And
Wow.
then I started a YouTube channel, I think in 2012 or 11 or whatever I said. And I said, what am I going to call it? And I was like, well, people know Sega CD Universe. I've had people over the years keep in touch with me and contact me. So I just used my nickname, Vampyre Mike, on Sega CD Universe, and I just ran with it. And then the meme page on Facebook and Instagram and whatever else just sort of became their own things because people don't really give two shits about my videos on Twitter and Facebook. They just want to see like stupid jokes.
Yeah.
So that's where it came from. I collected a whole, 200. I think it was 210. Memory serves, the full United States Sega CD set. So I have every Sega CD game except some of them aren't complete. They're just discs, but most of them are complete. And that was it. I just kind of ran with it, and it adapted over the years to my entertainment or things I enjoyed, and that's the gist of it.
That's so cool. I didn't realize you were that young when you like started on that all. Like how much it's grown.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the YouTube channel is probably the most popular, but recently, out of all of it, but recently YouTube had demonetized me because I was uploading Sega commercials.
Oh, okay.
So they were like, you have way too much repetitive shit.
Yeah.
So I had to go on and take them off, and then I had to wait to hit a certain number of views and reapply. But the problem is my views weren't coming in as quickly because they weren't suggesting me to people. So now
you were like
my
shadow banned kind of thing.
Yeah, so they kind of screwed me, and then my views got very, very low, like really, really low. So now my views really aren't. I'm not very popular at all. So I'm back in the bushes.
Oh, you're not popular? Get the fuck off the stream.
Well, I'm no Anthony Chabot, you know.
Oh no, he
had a Botox.
So Anthony is actually competing against us now.
Oh,
he's doing his Jersey Watch.
Jersey.
He's doing his Jersey Shore watch party, so he's competing against us.
Gotcha.
So we don't know what if we're ever gonna have him on again. But what's hope?
Video game shit. I got Mario Golf.
Oh, nice.
This thing here, yeah. It's when you have a Nintendo account with like your Switch and stuff, you can every game you buy, you get like points online, and you can spend them on real world items like on the Nintendo website. And they're usually just little things like a tote bag or something like that, or like sticker set or something. So I got that off there.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
My son was big in the Mario, but now he's all into the Roblox and the Minecraft and all.
Nah, just like every other kid his age.
Yeah, those games suck, but
yeah, my son's now like role playing. He'll say, he's young, he's like 3, so They'll say, I'm Mario, you're Luigi. And then my wife is for some reason always Bowser.
I was expecting Peach.
One year,
sometimes.
my son was Bowser for Halloween one year.
Oh, that's funny.
That's cool.
Yeah, but he's on the new stuff. Like it's there. He hasn't gotten to Fortnite yet, but we expect it any day now.
Oh, okay.
I used to play that like a few years ago, pretty heavy.
A few weeks ago, don't lie.
It's been a couple of years. It got too weird for me. The stuff they started adding, I was like, this is my ADHD can't handle this. There's too much going on. They were just adding like flying surfboards and just weird stuff. It got too much. That game's always been a lot, but the thing I liked about it is because it's not like supposed to be realistic, like a Call of Duty or something like that. They literally could just put whatever in it. Like you could be running around as Master Chief and then see like a cartoon character like Rick and Morty were in there, and now they have Family Guy in there. And I thought that was kind of funny how it just there's so much different stuff they can throw in.
We have a question from the chat from our friend Zachary, big supporter. What's your favorite Sega game?
Does it have to be made by Sega, or do you just mean like on a Sega console?
Let's just say on a Sega console. We'll go with that.
I'm just gonna pull out a couple here. Actually, I have three. I'll pull out three.
What a good guest. He's got like show and tell.
So, Shadowrun on Sega Genesis is a really great RPG. I guess like an action RPG, like a cyberpunk game. It's awesome. They have computer games, and it's based off of a pen and paper RPG. One of my other favorites, speaking of the Dreamcast, is Omicron. It's a kind of like Shenmue, but like again cyberpunk mixed with like virtual fighter type of elements and like really weird shit. David Bowie has a lot of music in it, and
I like Shenmue, so I'd probably like that.
It's definitely not as refined.
Yeah,
but those are two of my favorites.
Sometimes those janky games are like the most fun though.
Exactly. Yeah, those are two of my favorites. So yeah, if you like Shenmue, I would check out Omicron. It's a little weird. I don't know how well it aged, but it's on PC as well, so it's probably looks better and sounds a little better on PC. But
yeah,
those are two of my favorites.
That's
what
awesome.
about you
guys? My favorite of all time is Crazy Taxi. That was such a fun game. And there's actually a couple arcades around here that still have it.
On the BC ferries here, they have it, and I'll play it on there if I ride the ferry. They have a little arcade on there still. It's like one of the only places around here where you can still go play arcade games. Mm-hmm. Most of them have turned to like the VR shit.
Yeah,
that's slowly happening here.
Yeah, it seems like all that stuff got replaced by like escape rooms and like the VR stuff. And arcades are more of like I don't know. It's almost like a niche thing now. Like it's like a hipstery thing almost. Like you go to those places and it's people who are super into pinball and stuff. Most of them.
Dave and Buster's here, but Dave and Buster's mostly is ticket games.
My mom. Hey, Mom. It's your future wife, Mike.
Well, before when I was talking about my wife and my girlfriends, I was referring to Diane.
Omicron from Quantic.
So, speaking of things that Trenton likes, I wore this shirt to lube him up a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone noticed that. He didn't wear his Danzig shirt for me or his Michael Graves shirt, but I wore this shirt for him.
I know.
I actually saw the Misfits at Lupo's in Providence with my buddies John, Chris, and Joe, and Sarah was there too. Somebody else who I'm forgetting. So if you're watching, but it was when Jerry Only was sitting too, and it was all right. But I want to see them with Glenn Danzig again.
Yeah, he was.
It's one of those. Sorry, go ahead.
No, just that he was like the pinnacle. I think. I mean, I love Michael Graves, and I even really got into Mike Hideous.
Yeah.
But I like his other stuff, Empire Hideous. I mean, he was decent with the Misfits. I like them, but I think Danzig's sort of like the bar to reach, I
was going to say Danzig is Misfits to me, and it's like there's a few bands like that. Like there's Black Sabbath where they had Ronnie James Dio. Like to me, that's not Black Sabbath. And then say Van Halen, they had Sammy Hagar. That wasn't Van Halen to me.
Yeah.
So there's a few bands that are like that where it's like they had some.
Best show I ever went to in my life was the Ozfest. I believe it was '97 with my buddy Chris. They had Pantera, Motorhead, and I forgot Power Man 5000. Him and but they had Ozzy do an hour set with Black Sabbath,
That's
and
cool.
then come back and do a 75-minute solo set. It was incredible.
That's awesome.
It was the best show I've ever been to.
Was it like original Pantera, like Dimebag Darrell?
Yes, this was back in '97. It was
he died in
band. Dimebag, all of them.
Fuck, I love them. I have 2 CDs, and they're both Pantera. They're the only CDs I own, like physically.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, Cowboys from Hell and Vulgar Display of Power.
Yeah, great albums.
Yeah, I love Pantera.
So, who was your favorite concert, Trenton? Because Rob said his was this one with Pantera and Ozzy.
Shit, I haven't been to one in a long time. Trying to think of who I've been seeing.
Well, you don't get many tours up that way,
The
do you?
concerts I've been to, I was partying still, so hard to remember.
Was it like Mark Messier sings the blues? Like, what was it?
No, I've been to a few. Like, I saw like that like pop punk band like Good Charlotte. It was actually, that one was actually like super fun.
That's cool.
I had a good time there. Who else have I seen? I've seen like random ones. Like I would just go to shows. Like I saw Taylor Swift, and she put on a good show. But it was funny because me and my friend were there, and there was the opening act, and we were watching it like, who the fuck is this like sweaty little ginger guy? And then years later, he's Ed Sheeran, and he's like big as shit. It was before like anybody knew who he was. He was opening for Taylor Swift, and he was just standing there playing guitar, just drenched in sweat.
He's got some horrible tattoos for someone with money.
Yeah, I know, but I think they were before the money. I hope they were before the money.
Trenton, you got a new stepdad. Your stepdad's a legend.
You'd have to fucking fight Mike for her, and I don't think you would want to do that.
No, I'm a big teddy bear. Favorite concert? I'm just trying to think of my own. I mean, I've seen a couple. I don't go to shows much. I'm not really big into them, but like I've seen Ghost. Godflesh was excellent. Godflesh was really good. In Excess when I was like 18 was very, very great, but Michael Hutchence was dead at that point already, so they had to fill in. And the fill-in, John Stevens, sounds and looks exactly like Michael Hutchence. So it was very weird because it was like he was there, but he wasn't, and it was raining, so it had this like great ambiance. Probably one of those. Godflesh was awesome. Seeing Godflesh, I never thought I'd see them in person. So
yeah, you said that's one of your favorites, eh?
Yeah. I mean, I'm all over the map. I like Motown. I like all types of shit. So that's
what I mean. Cool. Like I've seen such random shows because I listen to like everything.
Mm-hmm. No, I think it's good to be eclectic.
Most of the shows I've been to are metal, ska, or punk. I've been to a lot of ska shows.
I never got into ska too much. I know, like, the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones.
Oh, I've seen them 50 times.
They're pretty good. Like, I don't mind listening to them.
Like everybody knows the impression that I get. Like, everybody knows that.
Yeah.
Well, I was listening to them way before that song even came out. I've been listening to them since '93.
Joe Nichols and Ray Stevens. Ray Stevens is good. Like I like country too.
Mm.
But I'm kind of one of those.
I like old country. I don't really like.
I was just gonna say I'm one of those assholes that's like I like old country though. Like
although I do like Chris Stapleton. Chris Stapleton is really good.
My mom loves him. Yeah, he's got a good voice.
Yeah, I'm not into country much. My wife really likes it, so I can appreciate some of it.
Yeah.
I guess Johnny Cash is probably my favorite.
Yeah, he's good too.
But he's also
that's like a thing. I feel like people who don't even like country like Johnny Cash usually.
Yeah. The funny part is my wife doesn't like him, and she loves country music.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah,
I like Kenny Rogers.
Slow though.
Warm summer's eve on a train bound to nowhere.
Yeah, Kenny Rogers.
Kenny Rogers.
Yeah, he's good too.
He died recently, right?
Yeah, he died a couple of years ago.
Who am I? I'm thinking of Toby Keith. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh yeah, he just died.
Toby Keith just died. That's what I'm thinking of.
We have a huge festival on the island here, a country music festival called Sunfest, and each year it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And he was like the headliner a couple of years back, and he got so shit-faced before he went on. He said the wrong name for where he was. It's called Vancouver Island, but there's a big city on the island called Victoria, and he called it Victoria Island. He's like, "What's up, Victoria Island?" and he was like forgetting the words to his song.
Oh, man.
He was so drunk. Yeah.
The Pantera White Zombie. I actually think I was at that show because I did see White Zombie. I forgot half the shows I went to, but I'm pretty sure I was at that show. I think you might have been with me. Actually, I can't remember, but talking to the commenters, asking if I went to the Pantera White Zombie show.
Country version of Baby Got Back. That's hilarious.
You mentioned how Toby Keith got drunk and said the wrong name. That reminds me of like when the wrestlers come out and they're like, I think Hogan did it a bunch of times too, and Flair. They'd be like, "Oh, it's great to be back in Dallas," and everyone's like, "Boo!" And they're like, "Oh, we're not in Dallas," you know?
Yeah.
That happened.
Well, they're on the road so much they don't even know where the fuck they are. You know?
Yeah, I don't blame them. I wouldn't want that kind of job.
No. I like that clip where it's the guy telling Chris Jericho to go back to wherever, and he's like, "I'm from Winnipeg, you idiot." You ever seen that clip?
No, is it in Winnipeg?
Yeah, some guy in the audience like tells him like go back to, and I forget what he says, like, but it's not where Chris Jericho's from, and then Chris Jericho just turns and he's just like, "I'm from Winnipeg, you idiot."
Oh, it's probably where's Bret Hart from?
Alberta.
You think it's that? You think
Calgary, Alberta. What's that?
Did he tell him to go back to Calgary and he like messed up?
It was something like that. Like it was in Canada, but it was just the wrong province. And he just turns and he's like, "I'm from Winnipeg, you idiot." It's hilarious.
Hi, Oreo. Oh, my cat's making an appearance.
Do you guys have favorite wrestlers?
Mine's Stone Cold.
Who's yours? I didn't hear you, Trenton.
Oh, Trenton.
So Stone Cold.
Yeah.
My favorite is the legendary, the greatest of all time to do it, Terry Funk.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah,
he's a good one.
I didn't get to meet him. My friends did after he had his stroke. But I always wished I did because I grew into him. As I got older, I really started appreciating him more.
I never met him, but I talked to him on the phone once because we became very good friends with the person who helped Terry Funk write his book.
Oh.
And he arranged for me because I helped him with his ECW book because I was kind of behind the scenes with ECW. So their online stuff. So I helped him. So he, as a favor, got Terry Funk to call me, and it was really awesome.
Wow, that's really cool.
That's cool. Pays to know people.
Yeah, that's really cool. Speaking of ECW, my favorite wrestler ever is Raven.
Yeah, I knew that.
But I do love I like the newer guys. I like Kenny Omega, and then like Great Muta is one of my favorites as well. But he just retired, I think, last year.
Yeah. He went into the Hall of Fame and all that.
Yeah,
I was hoping they were going to have him appear at the Rumble so we could say he had a WWE match. Excuse me. I'm always going to call it WWF, but that would have been a cool moment.
I met him at a signing for a show that Tommy Dreamer did, like a House of Hardcore. And I didn't realize he really doesn't speak English. So I went over to him and I was like, "You're one of my favorite wrestlers. It's so nice to finally meet you." And he just went,
"Oh, yeah." I know what to say.
I was like, "Oh, he doesn't understand me." And I was like, "That's all right. I sound half retarded. No, most people don't understand me anyway." So that was about it. But it was cool to meet him, and we took a picture, and I got his autograph, so I was happy.
I am not in the New England Wrestling Hall of Fame, and I should be. I deserve to be in there. There's people in there who have done way less than me. I belong in there, but they don't put me in there. And I didn't discover Becky Lynch. I helped book her in her first U.S. show. So she got her start here, but she made it on her own. She actually quit the business for a few years after she got hurt, and then she made a comeback. So the person who is responsible for her career is Fergal Devitt, who you all know as Finn Balor. He's the one who's responsible for discovering Becky Lynch.
But you said you booked her in her first match?
Yeah, me and my promoter Sheldon Goldberg got her to come because got a recommendation from Fergal because Fergal wrestled his first U.S. match for us too because he had family in Watertown and he was coming to visit his family and wanted to wrestle, so he came on our show.
Oh.
So he debuted and he recommended we book Becky. So we booked her when she was 18. She was Rebecca Knox at the time.
And those two never dated or anything? Or
I think they may have, but I'm not 100% sure, so I don't want to say yes, definitely. But I know he was responsible in training her and all that.
Did you date her too? Is that why she took a break for 2 years to get her physical physical, like her back in order? You broke her back, or
She wishes.
She wishes. God, the self-confidence.
She does a lot better than me, I'll tell you.
that's funny. Favorite Super Nintendo game, guys? Do you have a favorite Super Nintendo game?
Super Nintendo, probably the Super Mario World. I love that game.
That's what I was gonna say, but that feels too obvious. I'm trying to think of something else to play.
NBA Jam, was that Genesis or Super Nintendo?
Both.
Both. Okay, because I used to play that. That game was so
Those
good.
games were cool.
Yeah.
I was in middle school I was in a middle school for like behavior kids, and I was one of the few white kids in the school. And me and these kids would play NBA. If we were well behaved, that last half hour of the day we could go play video games. So we would play NBA Jam every day at school. It was so awesome.
That's so cool. Yeah.
We're still kind of in that behavioral class right now.
Yeah. This might as well be.
It feels like detention all over again.
The bad kids.
I actually, unbeknownst to most people, I don't know if I've ever spoken about it, I was actually not in the regular high school because I hated school so much that I would just leave. So my parents were like, there's nothing wrong with you. You just like lazy and don't want to go to school. And I'm like, I just hate it. I hate school. So they transferred me to an alternative school. And the teacher, like my first day, was like, "What are you doing here? Like these kids are like, one guy's on drugs, one guy, like, is like a mute. Like they're all like these different things. And what are you doing here?" I was like, "I just hate school. I don't like, the authority and the school. And I did very well. And you don't know the difference, diploma wise. But yeah, I didn't go to regular school because of that."
That exact same thing happened to me in high school. Grade 12, I just throughout all of school, but especially grade 12, because it was when I got my license and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I would just leave. Like I would go to McDonald's or just go drive around and
see. I'm weird. I loved high school. I
like the social part, but that was it. But like I would go to classes that like I wasn't even in and like skip my class and go hang out in another class.
Well, there were celebrities in high school with me that weren't then, but they are now. So
that's cool.
So
but eventually they get to the point where they're like, "Hey, you might as well just like not come at all." And I did. My mom was all over that. She was like, "No, that's not happening." So I did like the self-paced thing online, and it was way better for me because I just did school whenever I wanted at home. Like I could do it in the middle of the night. And remember, you were across. One time I was skipping and I'm driving. I don't even know where the hell I was going, but I pull up to the light and then I look across, and my mom's sitting at the other light. And I'm skipping school, but I wouldn't look at her. I'm like, oh fuck, I just wouldn't look.
Funny.
Yeah, but
she went through a lot with you, didn't she?
Oh fuck yeah. But yeah, I graduated normal too. Like it was cool because I still got to go to prom and like I still got to do the walk up and everything.
Who did you go to prom with? What was his name?
You know what? At least you didn't just assume I went alone. Could be worse.
Well, I figured you could probably slip something in someone's drink and pull anyone, but I just don't know. Just curious.
I skipped my prom to go to a Social Distortion show.
Oh, that's cool. Way
better. Social Distortion was Sweet Eyes, and I was able. It was so. I'm like, I'm gonna go to Social D.
So, Rob, quick question. I'm just gonna go backwards for a moment. You said you liked school, unlike Trenton and I, who didn't like school. You said you were like the only white person. Were you picking up?
No, that was junior high.
Oh, okay. I said, were you picking up like black mamas in there?
I transferred to a high school that was in a very wealthy community.
Oh, okay. Then you were picking up like black broads, and you were like,
No, I had white broads.
Oh, okay. No wonder you liked school.
I was picturing like, what's the movie with like Gangsta's Paradise in it? Fucking
Dangerous Mind.
Dangerous Mind. Yeah, I'm picturing that school and then just Rob.
Yeah.
Okay, this guy Will's trolling me. Let me fuck him up. So, I did go to high school with Chris Evans. He was in computer class with me. He sat next to me in computer class. My boy John was on the other side. Chris was on the other. We had good times. And Albert Breer, the SI writer who replaced Peter King, was in my class of '98. And in the mornings before class, we'd get to school and they'd have free Boston Globes there, so we would read the sports page together, me and Albert Breer. But Will keeps bringing it up because he thinks he's cool. But Will's a good guy. He just likes to bust balls.
You know
We love him. We'll give him a hug and a kiss.
him? Yeah. The SNES games, I've still been thinking about that because my brain's fucked. And Zombies Ate My Neighbors.
Good one.
That was a really fun one.
That one's
And then-
hard, right?
Yeah, it's pretty hard. And then-
Actually, Will, the number's up to 8 now. I've added up to it, and I it's 7 or 8. Excuse me, because one of them it's 7 or 8. I lost track.
Okay. Oh,
And then
well,
like all the Donkey Kong countries were super good. I like those.
yeah, those are fun.
Yeah,
like
those are
those.
really fun. I like the how it's like you swap characters, and especially the one with Dixie Kong and what was the kid? Was it Kitty Kong or
Diddy
Kong.
Kong.
no? There's like remember there's the baby. It's like the fat baby.
Oh, I
It's
don't
Dixie
remember
Kong
that.
and the baby.
I played that game too. See, my memory is fucked.
Yeah, I gotta look it up. I think it's the third one, and it's hold on.
Marco Kong.
Dixie Kong and Kitty Kong, yeah, and he's like the baby cousin,
Oh,
and he's I think he's in a diaper.
oh, okay.
The third one I really liked.
That's in now. People like that crap. People walking around in diapers and stuff. Those weirdos.
I have never fucked Dossie Lewis.
Who?
Yeah, who even
Oh,
is that?
it was mentioned on our last show.
Oh, okay. Who is that? Like an
He's-
actress or something?
He's a guy who only exclusively has sex with transsexual women, and he was my ex-wife's
Oh, it was
boyfriend at one
yeah,
point. But then he went gay, and then he became part of her family as like a brother. It's all fucked up. That family is fucked up.
It sounds pretty fucked up.
But for my bachelor party, he came with us to the bachelor party at the seedy strip club. I mean, this place is so seedy. The girls will blow you for $150. And anyways, all the girls fought to give him a lap dance to try to get him hard, and none of them did. Okay, one of our commenters wants to know: does anyone play Illusion of Gaia? If I pronounced it right.
I know of it, and I wanted
I know
to,
it, but I don't think I have.
but I never played it. No, I was into Chrono Trigger a lot. I like that.
Yeah,
one.
I was gonna say that one was good.
Oh,
Like the Dragon Quest games.
Shadowrun
nice.
is one of my favorite games on the Super Nintendo too, but it's totally different from the Genesis one. So if you
That's cool.
if you like
There were
playing-
a few games like that where they were really different, like on those consoles. Like Beavis and Butthead, the
Right.
Genesis and Super Nintendo versions are pretty different.
oh yeah, they're pretty different, definitely.
And then there's the Tasmania games, like with Taz from Looney Tunes, and they were like literally complete like different games.
I kind of liked when they did that. I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, it was, but it kind of sucked because if you had the one console and you had like the shittier version
Yeah,
of the game, your
I
friend
think-
had the good one on a different console.
I think Power Rangers did that. I think Super Nintendo had a really good, like, side-scrolling beat 'em up, and then
Yeah.
Genesis had like a one-on-one kind of crappy fighting game, and I was like,
Oh
this
yeah,
sucks. So,
yeah. There was a few like that where console to console they were different.
unless I'm just thinking of different Power Ranger games, but I don't recall. I
Yeah,
have a bad memory too.
like with like N64 and PS1 era stuff too. Like they were obviously a lot different too because like the disc could hold so much more than the cartridge. So like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, like it has like 30 seconds of the songs, whereas on the PlayStation 1 it's the full song that plays, right?
hmm
And like Resident Evil, they somehow fit that to be played on N64.
Do you
But,
guys
like, all
remember
the
when,
cutscenes are cut.
when DVDs first came out? There were DVDs you had to flip the disc over.
Yeah.
You guys
Yeah.
remember that?
Yep.
Like
Goodfellas.
Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, you had to flip it over.
Yeah, that was annoying. That was kind of like the laser
was terrible.
discs, where like the laser discs you had to flip over.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was so. But
Or like, yeah,
Now-
speaking of PS1, playing old games, and you would have to put in like 4 different discs. Insert disc 2, insert disc 3.
I remember the first time that happened to me. I got to the second disc and I shut the system off and put the next disc in, and then it started over, and I was like, "What happened?" And then I realized you had to keep the system on.
You don't
know?
turn, yeah, like
Yeah.
I think it saves it in like the RAM of the console.
Yeah, I was.
I
an idiot.
remember-
was
I
probably
remember
like
with
that.
PS2, it would save like a certain amount of the game just on the RAM, and like you could take the disc out and keep playing the game for a while
Oh yeah, I heard about
without
that.
the disc even in. I remember I figured that out because I had rented a game and I took it out without turning the console off, and I had to take the game back, but I continued playing through the game without the disc even in. just because
Oh,
it was
wow.
like, yeah, the game had already loaded so much of it that you could keep playing.
What game was it?
Sly Cooper.
I knew you'd remember it. I knew it.
I love that game.
Yeah, I never played that one, but I know a lot of people like it.
Yeah, those are really good. I think I only played the first two, but those were really fun games. I remember at the time it was like pretty, I don't want to say revolutionary, but like they were really well done for the time.
Speaking of revolutionary, I know before we went on the podcast, I was talking to Rob and you, mainly Rob, I guess, about Dreamcast had a web camera.
Yeah. Show this stuff off. That's really
So in Japan, there was a device called the Dream Eye, and it connects to the controller port where like the VMU goes, through the bottom. And
oh,
you were able to use a microphone and the camera, and then like chat with people, I think, and then take pictures of yourself and kind of simplistically manipulate them to do like little Photoshop, type of stuff.
yeah.
And then put your face into games and things. I mean, I know Rob was saying he loved the Dreamcast as much as I do, and I always thought it was really kind of revolutionary that it was online. It had a webcam. It had like so much cool stuff. I have a broadband adapter for my Dreamcast, so I'm able to play still online with the Ethernet cord.
Wow. Yeah, that's really cool. Like I didn't know it had any of that.
Yeah.
You all ever play Sims?
I did a
I
little
wasn't
bit
big on
actually.
Sims.
I did a little bit.
My game was Sim Tower for the PC. I love that game.
Yeah.
That was so fun. Sim City was pretty good
I was
too.
gonna say the original Sim City.
Yeah, the original SimCity I played when I was a kid, but after that I really couldn't get into them.
Yeah.
I like
too.
the roller coaster tycoon and shit like that. Those were fun just to
Yeah, they're too
mess around.
micromanage-ish for me. Like I don't like that sort of world building stuff. Populous
No.
and SimCity, it
Yeah.
just doesn't do it for me.
Well, Jeff, thanks for joining us. Thanks for all your support, and we're gonna have you on someday. Sega was ahead of its time.
Yeah.
It's too bad they didn't have the money behind them, because I think they could have had a really good system for today's technology.
I remember when my friends, I didn't have it right away. I had it after it died, the Dreamcast, but my friends had all gotten it right away. And I remember vividly going to their houses, and they didn't really have money, it wasn't like these people that had the newest thing, but they had it. I was like, wow. And then they were playing all of these burnt games. And I remember going, holy crap, how is this system going to do well when all these games are, copied and easily accessible? And then afterwards it died after like a year or whatever.
Yeah.
So.
But I remember having friends like that where they had PS1s, and I mean, they couldn't just do that, but they were so easily, you could mod them so easily to make them so they could read burn CDs. And I remember, my friends just having like those CD binders full of just burned games.
Yeah.
Who remembers the TurboGrafx 16, Bonk's Adventure?
I do.
Yeah. Bonks is hilarious, the little kid with the big head.
I remember when the TurboGrafx first came out to try to compete against Nintendo, Super Nintendo. I was in a store called Leechmere. It was a regional, it was like Best Buy, but New England, and I think they might have been in New York. I'm not sure. And they had the TurboGrafx 16 in the store so you could play it. And my mom would go shopping at the women's clothing store that was in there, and I'd be sitting there playing the game the whole time. And my mom took forever to shop. So
that's awesome. Yeah, I got this thing. It's like a retro emulator handheld, and you just put a micro SD card in it, and you put all the games in folders, and this can do from NES and all that stuff right up to PS1. You can run PS1 on this.
That's pretty cool.
And so I have a lot of the games we've been talking about I have on there, because those old game files are so small. I literally downloaded the entire NES library, the entire Game Boy library, Game Boy Advance library. They're so small they can all just fit on the card. PS1 is where it starts to get a little bigger, and to download the whole library of that would be a lot. But yeah, I have a lot of that stuff on there. Bonk's Adventure is one I played on that.
You know what you should check out if you get a chance? Resident Evil Gaiden on the Game Boy Color.
I have it on there.
It's fun. That's a weird.
Yeah, it's really fun. Yeah.
Oh, Game Boy Color was so good. I had so many games for that.
Yeah, I really like that. Did you have the purple one?
Mine. What color was my shit?
It seemed like the
I
purple
can't
one
remember
was
what color
common.
mine was.
Yeah, I don't know which one I had. I don't remember.
Yeah, it seemed like the purple one was common. I remember a lot of people having it. It seemed
Yeah.
like, and that's the one I had.
So is there anything in Canada that doesn't exist in America that you would say is like popular there? Games, movies, something, maybe a food. I mean, I know poutine.
Universal healthcare.
Universal healthcare, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I don't know. Fucking gun laws.
I was thinking more entertainment or media or
Yeah,
something.
I'm just
but
trying to think now. Like, I don't know. Like it seems like you guys do have like a lot more than us. Like
Oh, yeah.
even
Well, you
like,
guys had Degrassi. You guys had Degrassi. We didn't have Degrassi.
okay, yeah, I didn't know you guys didn't have that.
Well, we had them, but we had the reruns from you guys. You guys had them first, and then we got them.
Yeah,
we had what? You can't do that on television. That was Canadian.
Yeah, we took that on the original Nickelodeon.
Mr.
Yeah.
Dress Up was a big one. It was like our version of Mr. Rogers. It was just like an old man and he does puppets and crafts and stuff like that. And that was huge here, Mr. Dress Up. Like for now, like well, Trailer Park Boys, that was huge. Then that was Canadian.
Oh, was it? I didn't realize that.
Yeah, that was Canadian. And yeah, for food, I don't know. We don't like here in BC, we have a place called White Spot, and it's not even just Canadian. It's only in BC. It's not in anywhere else in Canada. And that's a really popular spot to eat. It's pretty good. Like it's even you go on the ferry and it's the cafeteria on there is White Spot food.
Isn't that just what's all over your pillow?
White Spots. I don't know why that name because it's old too, and I've wondered like was it like a racist thing? Like it's the White Spot. Like makes me wonder because it started back in the day this restaurant, but no, it's pretty good. When I know like when I had Joel and Angela when they came to visit from Florida, we went there and ate it, and they really enjoyed it. But that's not even anywhere else in Canada. And they said our chocolate is better too.
This guy says you have better potato chips than us.
We have different flavors, like all dressed and
yeah. I had the all dressed up ones. They were very good.
Yeah, those are really good. Do you guys have dill pickle?
Yeah, we have dill pickle.
You have dill pickle? Yeah, I can never remember like what flavors we have. Oh, hickory sticks is a good one. They're like
I don't think we have that.
They're like these potato sticks, and it's like a smoky flavor almost, and those are really really good too. But
I try not to eat them. Like I like them, so I know if I buy a bag of them, I'll eat the whole bag. So I don't buy them, but I remember like I bought in the all dressed up ones and stuff like that.
Yeah, they just made all dressed Pringles here, and those are super. I think I sent you a picture of them actually. Those were good.
What favorite Canadian wrestler? Who's like the best Canadian wrestler of all time?
Oh, probably Bret Hart.
Better than Jericho?
Yes, Bret's.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
In my opinion,
is he like like Canada's favorite son? Is Bret Hart?
I think he is. Yeah, like he's got his own bar in Alberta where he's from, and everybody knows like the Hart Foundation and like Stu Hart's house. Like you heard of the dungeon, like where he would train wrestlers. Like everybody knows them, and yeah, like Chris Jericho is obviously super popular too, but I'd say Bret Hart is definitely.
Does Kenny Omega touch that area at all? Like he's one of my.
No,
favorites.
I was gonna say the rest of the Canadian wrestlers are pretty like. They're like there's because there is a few like Lance Storm. He was
Lance Storm, yeah.
Yeah, there is definitely other Canadian wrestlers that are popular, but nowhere near like Jericho and then Bret Hart.
You have to admit, Jericho really, like Bret Hart, sort of stayed the same character through his career.
Yeah,
Jericho's really manipulated himself to sort of change with times.
Yeah.
Jericho's
I really like him.
Jericho's gonna have like a Terry Funk type of career.
Yeah,
because Terry changed a lot.
Yeah.
Oh right, Chris Benoit, but I guess
he's a piece of shit. Though.
After that thing, that kind of fucked it up for everyone. But he was really popular in Canada, and he was, he was
until he killed his wife and kid.
Yeah, he was a big deal before that. I mean, like, as a wrestler, technically, like the people who can like separate the art from the artist, kind of thing, like people still like him as a wrestler. But no, I Bret Hart, I'd say for sure is the most popular Canadian wrestler, even still.
I just get like I'm in New York, but I'm not in the city. But like people like Eddie Kingston, do you know who he is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like he's pretty good. Like he has like a good old school kind of look to him. He's not like in great shape, but he looks strong.
Yeah.
He's got a good mouth on him, but he kind of like annoys me because I feel like it's like any person I run into daily. It's not like anyone special or out of the
Yeah.
ordinary. It's just like some normal guy like who works at 7-Eleven that I know.
Yeah. Like you could just see him at a bar or something.
Yeah, yeah. Like he sort of aggravates me for that reason.
Oh yeah, Edge. I don't know how I forgot Edge.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So okay, so he's like right up there too.
Edge and Christian.
Yeah.
I never
Yeah.
got into them.
I liked Edge, Christian, whatever, but yeah, it was like he sure made it big from starting as a fucking vampire.
Oh yeah, with the Brood. Yeah, yeah.
They were like, it was like them and like Gangrel was supposed to be the leader.
Gangrel, yeah.
Fuck, like, where's he at?
There's this wrestling school out here that does shows, and it's funny on AEW. Every time I see someone on, they're like from Long Island, New York, and I know who they are because they went to that school. So a lot of like what's that short Italian guy, short Jewish guy, Johnny Silver,
MJF.
MJF. Like I don't think MJF trained at the place I'm talking about, but Mikey Whipwreck has this school out here.
Yep, Mikey Whipwreck. I know Mikey.
And all these people on AEW are primarily from his school. So you'll see all these people pop up, and I'm like, oh, I know John Silver. Oh, I know like whoever, and I'm like, and they're all from Long Island. Like, it's weird to see all these people. I don't know them personally. But,
like at NXT, Carmelo Hayes, he started out at my show. He's from the same town as me, Framingham, and he started out at our wrestling shows that we had in Framingham, setting up the chairs.
Oh, that's funny.
And now he's like one of the biggest stars in wrestling. And he started out just as a kid setting up chairs for shows.
I guess you got to pay your dues somehow.
He wanted to go for free. I told him if you set up the chairs, you can come for free. So he set up the chairs and came for free.
That's awesome.
So he really earned his stripes.
What a come up story! Like setting up chairs.
Setting up chairs.
Whatever works to get your foot in the door, I guess, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Did you have any more Sega like peripherals or anything there?
I didn't pull any more peripherals out, but I have a few Sega CD games that are kind of hard to come by.
Yeah, that's cool. Like if you have them all, there's obviously got to be some rare ones in there.
I think the most recent is rare is Kyo's Flying Squadron. This is like a side-scrolling shooter with like a little girl in a bunny outfit.
I've seen that.
And this is worth like, I think it's like $2,000.
That's probably why I've seen it like on the list of like rare games or something.
And I bought these all years ago. So like I started collecting them when I was like 13 or 12.
Yeah.
And, I finished my collection at like, I don't know, 17, 18 years old. This is one of my favorite games, and I highly recommend you play it, even on your little handheld.
Yeah.
Snatcher.
Okay, I probably have it because, like I said, I've downloaded the entire libraries for those systems.
It's like a point-and-click adventure game, but there's like some shooting and some, not puzzles really, but it's a really good game. They mix like Terminator and Blade Runner. It's like a futuristic game. Really, really, really great.
That's cool.
You know what game I love for the original Nintendo? A game called Adventure Island.
Oh, those are great games.
That was great. And then the game, who can remember the Contra code to get unlimited lives?
Up, down, left, right.
Yeah, it's just the Konami code, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
That was at Contra.
They still use the Konami code in games.
I like playing those systems. I used to always play with my friends, and it was always fun.
Yeah, there was something about those times where you would play with people,
Cheat codes aren't a thing anymore. It's just like buy everything.
Remember the game Genie?
Yeah.
You want that thing? You could have all those cheat codes?
Yeah, Game Genie, Game Shark.
Yeah.
There was a couple different variations of those, but yeah, those are the same thing.
On the Dreamcast, I have a burn of a Game Shark, and I can use it to play imports. So if I buy a Japanese Dreamcast game and I can't play it obviously out of the gate, I put in the Game Shark, and then when you go to put the code in, you just continue, pop the disc out, and then you can put the Japanese game in and it works.
Wow. Oh, so they are region locked though, Dreamcast?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that. That's weird. I can play burn games, but it's region locked.
Yeah, it was something to do with the GD-ROM they used at some point. People were somehow taking GD-ROMs and like compressing them onto CDs and making them work. But
Yeah,
yeah,
'cause I know like N64, it wasn't even like a software region lock. It was like hardware,
all
like the
those
games,
little
the
those
little
little clips.
notches.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could literally, if you bought one cartridge, you could just swap the boards and just play. So
Yeah,
there actually was nothing stopping you from playing. Like you could just take the board out and stick it right in, or just swap it to a cartridge that had the proper setup for the console.
the Super Nintendo was the same way. I remember as a kid, I made my dad take one of his tools and he cut the little notches out of my Super
Yeah,
Nintendo,
so that it
and then
would
I was
fit.
able to play like Japanese like Dragon Ball games or whatever.
Yeah. It's like that with N64 too.
Yeah,
Like that's all you have to do to be able to play them because there's no software thing to lock you out.
yeah, I like that. I like being able to have options, especially with like fighting games and stuff that I don't really care if they're in English.
Yeah, a lot of those games you don't need. Like I know a lot of speedrunners, they'll play games in Japanese because it's less text.
Oh, that makes
Like
sense.
like
Okay.
Super Mario 64. Nearly everyone who speedruns that, like seriously, it's the Japanese version because there's less text and like I guess like once the timer starts, it starts. So even dialogue counts on the timer. So it's faster to skip through the Japanese text because there's less of it.
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Yeah. There's like if you look up speedruns for that game and like the top players, it'll always be Japanese version they're playing.
So,
I mean, there's probably a separate category for the English version,
right.
but just for like in general, it's always the Japanese one.
Someone in the comments, I saw it pop up quickly. They were like, "Oh hell yeah, Snatcher! If you like Snatcher, I apologize, I didn't catch your name, but if you like
There it is. Yeah.
Snatcher, check out. It's not as good, but I would check out Cobra the Space Adventure and Rise of the Dragon is probably just as good as Snatcher on Sega CD. Very similar to something like Snatcher if you like those types of games.
Oreo says hi, everybody.
Hello,
Hey,
Oreo. Why'd they name her Oreo and she's not black and white?
I don't know. I don't get that either. Now she's on the laptop.
I wondered that when you posted her originally.
I know. I don't get it. I'm sorry, everybody. The cat's ass has taken over the screen.
Hey, it's nicer to look at than you.
Thanks, bud.
I knew that was coming.
Yeah, that was too easy. That was low hanging fruit.
Oreo, you're on national internet. International internet. All right. That
Never
was
get
a
Game
guest
Sharks
appearance by Oreo.
to work. I remember the really old Game Sharks too. It was like for the original Game Boy one, it was literally like you put the Game Shark in and it has a little door and it had like a little mini book with the codes in it.
Yeah.
That was kind of cool.
It was like that on the NES. I remember as a kid. Yeah, you'd have like the Game Shark would go in with this like black piece of
Yeah, it had the handle on it. You put the I think that to be honest, I've heard about that, and you can do it. You can do weird stuff to games without the Game Shark. If you put the game in on an angle and stuff, or you stack two games and stuff, it can glitch the game and it can make weird stuff happen like that.
I've seen that. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, have you seen that? Yeah, it's kind of cool. It's modding before modding. Like you just manipulate the cartridge how it's sitting.
That's cool. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, okay. I was wondering. I'm it's kind of hard to explain, but yeah, I've seen people do that where they stack the games or they'll put it in on an angle.
Do you guys have like a favorite horror movie or anything like that? Since I talk about movies a lot on my channel.
I'm not the
Saw.
biggest horror movie guy. I'm more into mob movies and comedies. But if I'm gonna say my favorite horror movie, it's probably the Blair Witch Project. I love that movie.
That was a good one. I like the game of that too. Have you ever played the game, Mike?
I didn't know it had a game.
It's pretty recent, right? About 2 years old or so.
Yeah. I think it's older than that, but unless they remastered or something. Hold on, I'm gonna look.
I know they did one a few years ago.
Yeah, it's 2019.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I was wrong.
Years.
Yeah, I didn't play the game. I heard good things about it. I remember liking the movie as like a teenager.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen it since. I'm not big into found footage movies.
No, some of those are pretty.
The new
weird.
ones are awful, but that one that was good. And then another one that's more of a. I played this for my ex-girlfriend at the time. we showed her a Human Centipede. That was a fucked up movie.
Yeah, those are pretty good.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, Chris in the movie Itchy Tasty. We went to Blair Witch together.
Oh, did you? That's cool.
A bunch of us went. That was a good time.
Yeah, I really like the Saw series. Like as cheesy as it is, I'm like obsessed with that.
They're always entertaining. I feel.
I know. I remember the first one, like the ending. It's just like fucking mind blowing.
Halloween's a great franchise too. Halloween is great.
Yeah, Halloween's really good.
Yeah,
I like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I like.
Yeah, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I mean,
You're really
that's
into
the one that was really good.
You're really into the weird, obscure things. There's one, and have you ever seen the one where it's like, fuck, he's a black vampire, Petey Wheatstraw or something like that? I think that's what it's called.
That sounds really familiar.
Does it? Petey Wheatstraw. Yeah, it's from 1977.
I'm not big on 70s. I like 80s and up.
Okay. It says a nightclub comedian is murdered by jealous rivals. He is resurrected along with his killed friends through a literal deal with the devil. Having agreed to marry the devil's daughter, he gains magic powers through a magic cane. That's what he is. He's like a pimp, but he's like a he's like a evil pimp. And
from the chat room, any thoughts on the new Crow movie? Technically not horror. What do we think? I saw the trailer and I thought it looked awful.
Yeah,
I have no business remaking that movie.
I'm not interested.
Yeah, I'm not a huge Crow fan. Like I like it. It's a little overrated for me. I do like it, but that new one just looks bad.
I just keep getting tagged in memes where it's Pete Davidson.
I'm not a fan of remakes. Like they're remaking one of my favorite movies of all time, The Warriors. I'm like, you can't.
Are they actually?
Yeah, they're gonna make
some
it
of that
set in
shit
modern day.
Alone.
I just got the 4K of that. That's one of my favorite films. I have their autographs right over here.
I saw that. That's cool. The original. Yeah, the original's amazing, but a lot of those movies, it's like leave them alone. Like they're running out of movie ideas and they just start remaking old stuff. Disney was doing that, like Jungle Book and all those movies. They just remade them.
Yeah, and they didn't change them enough. It was pretty much the
they made
same
them live action. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's what else? And then they change them and they like try to make them like woke. Like they make the characters like different ethnicities, or they'll make them a different gender, or it's like, come on.
I don't like when they do that. I don't want them to start switching things up. I understand it's like.
I didn't mind the Black Mermaid though, because she was a beautiful girl. That didn't have a problem with, and I kind of liked the reaction from people who lost their shit. I go, it's a Disney movie. Don't lose your shit.
You see, we talked about him going to school with black girls, and all of a sudden he's bringing up the Black Mermaid.
Yeah. He's like, I hate all those. The Black Mermaid, that was pretty.
Black pussy is quality. It's pinker than white pussy.
I just had to bite my tongue. I'm going to bite my tongue on that. I don't want to get in too much trouble today.
Yeah, I don't know. Like the new Crow, no, I have no interest. But then again, like the original, same as you, I'm like, eh.
Well, like Jacob's Ladder, I love Jacob's Ladder, and then they remade it. It was terrible. Did you see it? Horrible, horrible. The new Exorcist looks horrible. I didn't even bother.
They all, like most of those, look horrible. I remember like the new, not the newest one, but the one before that I Chris Rock and Samuel Jackson saw. That was pretty bad.
Yeah,
I love all the movies. So honestly, the best part of the whole movie is where Samuel Jackson walks into the thing, and then you can hear like Billy the Puppet laughing, and Samuel Jackson just goes, "You want to play games, motherfucker?" And it's like that was like the best part of the whole movie. Just like for that one line of him saying motherfucker. He
sort of aggravates me. I don't know why. As I've watched him over the years, he like started pissing me off at points.
Me too. Just getting older and grumpier, I guess. But yeah,
I guess so. I don't know. And Quentin Tarantino too. Like I used to love his movies, like Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction, and now I go back and watch like Inglourious Bastards or the one with the Nazis, and it's like, they don't do it for me. I don't know.
Yeah, Reservoir Dogs is like one of my favorite movies ever.
Oh, I love that movie.
Yeah,
so good.
Yeah, that's an incredible movie.
Which Reservoir Dog do you relate to the most?
Probably Mr. Pink.
You don't tip in Canada, right?
Yeah, Canadians don't tip. Well, we're coming up time to wrap this up. We want to thank Mike for joining us.
Thank you very much, Mike.
If you want to see more of his stuff, it's SegaCDUniverse on YouTube, correct?
Yep. Thank you very much for having me. I really appreciate it, guys.
Yeah,
No
thanks
problem.
for
Next
joining
week
us.
we have a very special guest, New England wrestling icon Maverick Wild, aka Scott the Sprez. He's a very good friend of mine. He's just pretty much left the business, and he's going to talk about a lot of stuff. So he also has struggled with mental health. So we'll be talking about mental health and the fucked up community that is New England wrestling. So if you're interested in that topics, join us next week on Messed Up Dudes every Thursday, 8 Eastern, 5 Trenton time Pacific.
Canada time, baby.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Thanks. Thanks for watching. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks.
Trenton Peterson, yay! Rob Marco, yay! The Messed Up Dude podcast, yay!